Hello world, Shelly here, and it's time for another episode of Foundation Fest, and today I'm going to check out our buck favorites, the AOA Studio Pro Wear foundation. This is $1.55, comes in 15 different shades. It is part of their Paw Paw charity donation edition collection, whatever you want to call it. It's currently getting 4.5 out of 5 stars with 57 reviews on their website. I've got the lightest shade Porcelain, and I've also got what looks like the second lightest shade Buff, or the third lightest shade, but the second one looks like a yellow undertone, so it's not really the third darkest. But anyway, this is described as a medium to full coverage foundation with a gorgeous semi-matte finish. It's the foundation of your dreams. Available in 15 shades, so everyone has a match. They do correlate with the A+ satin foundation, so if you know your shade in that, you should be a similar shade in this one. It looks like a dimethicone-based foundation. Really not much going on in the ingredients. There is added fragrance, though it is the very last ingredient. So let's take a look at these two shades swatched against a few others in my collection. Swatch time! These swatches are getting up close and personal because this is not a stretchy shirt and I cannot pull the sleeve up any higher. So we're gonna deal with this. We got first up the AOA Studio. This is the Pro Wear foundation. The first swatch is in shade Porcelain, the lightest shade. Second swatch is also the AOA Pro Wear in the third shade Buff. Third swatch is Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place in 1C1 Cool Bone. Fourth, I've got from CoverGirl the Matte Made in shade L40. And last, I've got the Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream in shade 21. I've already cleansed, moisturized, and sunscreened this 46-year-old face. I have primed with the AOA Studio Aqua Primer with a giant typo on the front. I guess that is supposed to say aqua. It is aqua on the back. Don't know how that made it past QA, but I have already primed with that. I will go in on one side of my face with a dampened sponge. The other side I'll use my e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. We will see if I have a preference one way or the other. This formula is a little bit thick, so in terms of using the sponge, it kind of prefers the swiping motion rather than the tapping motion. I'd say it is a solid medium coverage right out of the gate. It's lots and lots of coverage. We're getting really nice balance of redness correction, and I can barely see my sunspots poking through, and that's just one pass with the sponge. So really good coverage to start. Let's try the brush side. This blends out really nicely with the brush. I think it looks about the same brush versus sponge, but I do think it's a little bit easier just mechanically to blend it with the brush because of the fact that it needs to kind of be swiped around to get it to blend out. I do notice a small bit of fragrance, like a scent with this. It's just sort of a light, fresh kind of scent, but I do notice it, and I don't have a very sensitive nose. So if I smell it, it's probably going to smell stronger to somebody that does have a sensitive nose. This is doing a really nice job of blurring pores, and it looks nice and smooth on the skin. It looks a little heavy in spots, like between my eyebrows, just a tiny bit, almost cakey, but not bad, not bad. Let's zoom in and take a look at this one. So around my mouth, I think it's doing really well, actually. I do have a little bit of flaking skin around my upper lip and around the sides of my nose, on my cheeks, and you really can't see very much of it at all. And I feel like it's not settling into lines. I don't really see my pores too much. It's doing a good job at smoothing out texture. You know, it's on the smoother side of my face, it's very, very smooth. And on the textured side of my face, I can just barely see the texture. So I think it's doing a good job at blurring it out. A little bit heavy in between my eyebrows, clinging to that sort of textured skin there. My forehead doesn't look as smooth as I would like it to. I can kind of see some of the micro wrinkles that I prefer to be smoothed out, but that kind of tends to happen in a more matte format where You can just see them a little bit more. This hasn't dried down to be completely matte. You know, they described it as satin, and I'd say right now it still is a satin sort of a finish because I still get some reflect I can see off my forehead and off the high points of my cheeks. So I think it is a satin finish for now. I did not use all of the product that I had put out, so a little bit goes a long way with this one. Let me put the rest of my face on. Let's check the time. It is 11:30. I will be right back. Okay, the AOA Pro Wear foundation is doing well. I did end up setting it very lightly with the Flower Beauty Light Illusion powder in Porcelain. I just set basically my cheeks and the perimeter of my face where I was going to blend powder over it. On top, I've got the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in Fair. My blush is the Clarins Jolie blush in Cheeky Baby with my Wet n Wild Blossom Glow highlight. Loving that combo. My eyes are the Alter Ego Balloons palette. That is what is going on. Oh, and my lip is, are you surprised? The Maybelline Lifter Gloss in Moon. Yeah, so that's where we are starting out. I will come back in a bit with a daylight check-in, and I will come back tonight and give you guys my final thoughts. Hey guys, we are about 4 hours in on the AOA foundation, and here we go with a little bit of color match. This one might be just a smidge dark for winter for me, but I think I can pull it off. I think it's all right. I haven't really gotten a good look at this one, so this is, you're getting the same look at the same time I am. It doesn't look like anything is breaking down. I think coverage is still looking good. I feel like my smile lines might be a little more prominent than normal, same with my three main forehead lines. But a little dry, but not bad. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. I'd say the weight of this one feels a little closer to average as opposed to being super lightweight. It's not a super lightweight feeling, but honestly, I haven't really thought about my makeup all day, which is good. It's just there, doing its thing. So that is about the halfway point. I will come back tonight and we'll see how it goes. 12:24 a.m. If I'm not mistaken, that puts us right around 13 hours. It's been a while since I've worn a full face for 13 hours. Let's take a look at how the AOA Pro Wear foundation held up. You guys, so I've been on Zoom for the last 4.5 hours or so, my D&D game, and on Zoom I thought, you know, this looks really good, but I'm just using my regular webcam on my computer, which is not the best camera, so I'm like, because I haven't looked up close. So I came here to sit down to film the outro here, and this has held up ridiculously well. Like, I don't factor price into the scores that I give to foundations, but these are $1.55. How does AOA make such good foundations for a couple dollars? I don't understand. I don't know how it's possible. Let's zoom in and take a look. So, blush, bronzer, highlight right off the bat look brand new. Like, they're completely not faded in any way, shape, or form. The coverage around my mouth is just starting to wear down, my mouth and chin, and my movement lines of my smile lines are just a little bit visible, like the product broke apart along them just a little bit, but it's very minor, and nothing has settled into even my deepest chin line. There's no settling going on whatsoever. In between my eyebrows, it's basically just broken apart a little bit along the movement lines. Even my nose doesn't look too bad. The product is starting to break down, but barely any is missing. And considering how deep I am into allergies right now, that is amazing. I didn't blow my nose today, but I did have to wipe my nose a little bit. So Forehead still looks fine. Really nothing has changed. No product moved around. Nothing settling into lines or into pores. And I think the degradation is graceful. Like, I think I'm fine being seen like this. Like, this just looks like the end of the day to me, which blows my mind. Legit blows my mind. In terms of it being for dry skin, I would call this not drying. By the end of the day, by now, I'm still perfectly comfortable. I could have done an 8-hour review and washed this off before I started my game. And I decided not to because everything felt fine. It really does feel fine. I see little bits of drag lines starting, but I think part of me has to acknowledge that I think I'm just getting more wrinkles here. Like, I think I'm just getting more smile lines and movement lines that show when I smile. And I'm going to have to stop thinking they're automatically drag lines, because I don't think they're drag lines right now. My skin doesn't actually feel too dry. So I don't think it's a drying formula. I think if you have dry skin, it's fine. It's not settling into lines. It's smoothing texture and pores. Like, I can't believe this, really. But if I had to give a grade to the AOA Studio Pro Wear foundation, I think it has to be an A. Like, I can't... What would I complain about? It could be a little bit more lightweight feeling. I mean, maybe it looks a little bit heavy in a couple of spots, like between my eyebrows, but these are so minor. I don't think they take it out of the A range. I think we have an A on our hands, and it blows my mind. Straight up blows my mind. It's $1.55, and part of it goes to animal charities. All right, there you have it. I'm shocked. I'm dumbfounded. It blows my mind. Can I say it again? All right, there you have it. Another episode of Foundation Fest is in the books. If you like foundation reviews, if you had a good time with this one, if you want me to keep doing them, give me a thumbs up down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.